What's going on, Falcon fan? This is what we're gonna do. Coming back at you with another video. So today we're gonna talk about the keys to victory for the Atlanta Falcons to get back on track against the Houston Texans, who's actually won their last two games coming into the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Just want to remind everybody that's coming to the game this weekend, be loud like you were the first two games. Yes, our Falcons need that boost. We got to get back on track. Next two games at home. We want to be able to bring that home field advantage back into so we can get back on the right track with our Atlanta Falcons. So, guys, with that being said, if you have not already, go ahead and please subscribe to this channel. Please hit the notification bell so you know when I drop another video. Please hit the like button. So I know you guys out here that talk about, then please share my video throughout the YouTube universe so more people can come in and hear me talk about. That's correct. These Atlanta Falcons. So today, the quick rundown is going to be, I'm going to go to some roster moves that we have had in the last 48 hours, injury report on both sides of the ball on both teams. And then we'll get into the keys, of course, offense, defense, and the special team keys, what the Atlanta Falcons needs to do this week to get back on track. And I want to hear from you guys if you know what you think about it as well. So, real quick, right into it, we're going to get into some roster moves for our Atlanta Falcons. We had two Falcons go on the injury reserve list today. Josh Ali, a wide receiver, undrafted guy that came in, went on the injury reserve IR, and Parker Hesse also went on the IR. So both of those guys are going on IR. Looks like they're going to be out for the rest of the season. With that being said, the Atlanta Falcons have signed two guys to the practice to the roster. And first guy is definitely somebody that we all know that the Atlanta Falcons drafted 3 years ago. Frank Darby is back. You recall that Frank Darby was actually having pretty good training camp, but in that Miami game, he actually got an injury, and they gave him an injury settlement, and they released him. You know, but every time something happens to somebody else, the fortunes happen for another guy, and Frank Darby is now back with the team. Maybe his positive energy can get these guys kick started this week. You never know. But Frank Darby's back. It's good for him. I thought he was having pretty good training camp, and you know, I think if it wasn't for the injury, he definitely would have had an opportunity to make this roster this year. The next guy that they brought in to bring in to fill that 53-man roster was defensive lineman Eli Anaku. I hope I said that correctly. A guy who was actually with the Buffalo Bills practice squad, actually played last season for them in 6 games. He had 10 tackles, 1 sack for it, and then he was in the backup on the Buffalo Bills practice squad this week. He actually was with the Atlanta Falcons some last year, so they have familiarity with him. But we know how serious the Atlanta Falcons are with their defensive line. So bringing another guy, another big body to come in um, to this team is welcome. Of course, the more defensive line we can have, the more you can keep rotating, have fresh bodies coming in is always a good thing. So, welcome to the Atlanta Falcons, Eli, and of course, welcome back Frank Darby to the 53-man roster. So that's good news. Unfortunate for a guy like Josh Ali, of course, Parker Hesse, who actually haven't played a big role this year, because we have so many different tight ends on this roster. So, but hopefully both of those guys get well, and that's when we're going to go right directly into the injury report for this week because we just talked about IR, and for both teams, guys, it's like it's going to be a pretty good um, game for everybody. Everybody's pretty healthy. The Houston Texans did have one guy on that did not practice today, and that was Malik Collins, one of their defensive tackles in the middle. But not sure if he's going to be out for the week. He just did not practice today, so you'll keep an eye on look at him for the rest of the week and see um, if he's going to have any lingering effects on his abdomen. That's the reason he was out, and see if he won't be able to go. But other than that, the Texans come in pretty healthy team, so we're going to be playing that full roster this week. Like I said, a team that's coming in on a high that we definitely need to find out what we're going to be able to do with these Atlanta Falcons. All right, for the Atlanta Falcons, it's a clean, 100% clean injury report. There was no one on the clean injury report. They all 53 men on the roster practiced today in full. So that's a good sign going in. We're gonna need all hands on board definitely to try to get back on track this week. Or not getting these guys ready, getting them good looks against this Houston Texans, against a young, good, hot quarterback and CJ Stroud. So that's going to be good. But the Atlanta Falcons look really good. This, for a health standpoint, everybody, Cordell Patterson did not show up limited, anything like that. So it's like he's getting back to the 100%. Of course, Arthur Smith wanted to get him in, give him some more touches, but we know how lethargic our offense was the last game. So I don't think anybody got the touches they wanted from an offensive standpoint, except the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they was touching the ball. But Desmond Ridder was throwing it to him. So just a quick joke, just a little joke. But he threw it to him 2 times, almost the third time. So, but hopefully we get all those guys healthy. We get them back in, and we can see what these guys get to do today. I want to say a shout out to 3 Dirty coming in. He said, "What's up? We're kind of looking forward to the keys for these Atlanta Falcons." Yep, man. We're going to get into it real quick here. He said, "I think Frank Darby is hungry and will help Ritter stay mentally even with the struggles." Yeah, I mean, he got that positive energy, man. Sometimes you need a hype man, and definitely Frank Darby is going to be the hype man. He hyped the whole team up. He always, a full of energy because he just living life, man. Look like he always smiling. You need somebody like that in your locker room. So I'm kind of glad Frank Darby's back. Don't know how much he's gonna, benefit us on the field, coming back. He does know the offense and things like that, but he's a really good special team player. You never know what Frank Darby can definitely do for us. But with that being said, guys, I'm really excited to talk about my keys today and what I think the Atlanta Falcons need to do to get back on track. Remember, once again, the first key out of anything, the fans. We need to come in. We need to be loud. We need to be exactly where we were the first 2 weeks. I know everybody kind of upset about what has transpired since we left the confines of our home stadium, but we're coming back home the next 2 games. So all the fans that's out there, you come into the game, come in, be live, be pumped up. Because guess what, guys? Our defense is playing good football. And that's when we need to be the loudest. So if you're mad with the offense, you're mad how the quarterback's playing, don't take it out on our defense. Come in and be loud for those guys where they can at least keep us in the game as long as we can. All right. That's what I want to say. That's the first key. Overall, fans come in, be that big boost for our defense out there and be loud. All right, so let's get into it. Of course, we're going to talk about the offensive keys. Through the year, I think I'm gonna switch it up a little bit, and I'm gonna start with special teams and defense first instead of going over offensive keys all the time. But definitely this week we're gonna start with offense because let's just be honest, offense has been playing terrible for the whole season. In reality, if you just want to just look at it in a whole, if you want to take the first 4 games and look at the offense as a whole, right? We had not been playing good football. Yes, we got 2 wins because we was able to cut it on later on in the game in the first 2 games, but we could not, get our own ways in the next 2 games on the offensive side of the ball. So, my first key this week for the Atlanta Falcons, and we heard it from Arthur Smith, on Monday, we heard it from him again today in the press conference, and it's really simple. It's 100% the way what needs to happen. Something that the Atlanta Falcons have not did all season long, and that's to start fast. We have to be able to do that this week. We got to get some kind of confidence going into that young quarterback, Desmond Ridder. We got to get some confidence going into our offensive line. Let our skilled players get some confidence that it's going to be a different day. We can't come out and have the same kind of starts we've been having. The Atlanta Falcons have not scored a lot of points in the first half all season long, so the starts is starting to be something of a thing that we don't want to see. We have seen it, a lot in teams throughout this NFL, and it's not just the Falcons, of course, but we don't want to be one of those teams. You look at teams like the Jets, teams like the Giants, teams like the Bengals, right? Steelers. We don't want to be those teams because we want to be able to have, start fast. We have good players on this team. It's not a talent issue, right? from when we come to the skill players. We got a solid offensive line, was in the top 5 last year. We got to get back to that, right? That's what we want to see. So we got to be able to start fast. So my first key is for this Atlanta Falcons team to get out, start fast. Let's get a young quarterback some easy throws. Let's get that running game going if we can, but we got to be able to get out fast. I mean, if anything, let's have a long, nice drive, and if we don't punch it into the red zone for a touchdown, let's at least get through on the board. That's what we need to see from this Atlanta Falcons team this week. My number one key, and I hope they can get back on track for us. My second key for the Atlanta Falcons offense this week is protect the football. Protect the football. And that's just goes without saying. One thing that we really want to see from Desmond Ridder is not lose the game for us, right? That should be his number one key in his head, going into every game. I can't be the reason we lose, right? And turning the ball over is a formula for that. And it's starting to look trend down for Desmond Ridder, right? Because this whole week, all it's been talking about the Atlanta Falcons need to move on from Desmond Ridder. Is Desmond Ridder the right guy? What did they need to do? All that. But, the offense as a whole has not been playing well. But if you look at Desmond Ridder, and in particular, specifically what he did in London, right? It all trended towards him being the fall guy and what's going to really happen, right? Young guy, 8 start of his career, but when you got all that talent around you, and I believe the Atlanta Falcons put a good solid foundation around Desmond Ridder, he cannot be the one to lose the game, right? That's just got to be where it is. He can't put the ball in harm's way. Of course, he threw 2 interceptions last week. That spill quarterbacks do that all the time, right? But if you go look at the Green Bay game, he almost gave it away a couple of more times. So this is going to be really important for Desmond Ridder. He has to protect the ball, because if he come out and everybody already on the edge, right? Some people was already off the Desmond Ridder hype train. The people that was on the train, they don't teeter over back to the middle now because we're not sure, right? And that's pretty much where I'm at right now when I come to Desmond Ridder. I'm to the point where, God, don't turn the ball over. We're already trying to figure out the issues and struggles with this offense to try to get on track, but turning the ball over is definitely going to help that. And the main goal is don't be the reason why we're losing, right? Because that's the fastest way, especially when you don't have 100% of your fan base behind you. You got all the national media talking about Justin Fields again, talking about how good a fit he would be in Atlanta with all the weapons that Atlanta Falcons have, right? Nobody outside of that locker room and the coaching staff and his family probably believes in him. That's just and that's what we don't want. We don't want the teammates and guys in the locker room and in that organization to start to turn as well. So for him, big game, that's what quarterbacks are. That's what it's all about for young quarterbacks. All right, all the pressure on you. You're gonna get all the blame, get all the praise, whatever the case may be. But he can't be the reason why we lose. So just to go on to say that my second key is to protect the football. And that goes where when we throw it, guys need to make sure they don't drop it, don't even turn it over, don't fumble, all these things. But the main thing is the second key for the Atlanta Falcons, we need to win the turnover battle. And that means protecting the football. All right. Those are the first 2 keys. We're going to get into the last key today for the offense, and that will be balance. And we have to establish a balanced offensive game plan, right? The biggest issue is the starts. So we're gonna go back to that first key. Think about getting off on the best starts, right? We cannot go out and not be able to run the ball and get behind and start Stoke, because that's going to stop our run game. We want to be able to run the run the ball consistently throughout the game. That means we start off good, we get in a rhythm. That will open up our passing game. It really will. But the passing game has to be part of this game plan. I don't think we can just go out and think we're going to be able to run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. Because what you're doing, you're letting the team know that you don't have any belief in your passing game. When you have all these weapons on the outside that can really be dynamic with the ball in their hands. So you got to be balanced. I think it's really important for the Atlanta Falcons to be balanced. I know that's what they've been shooting for all year. Doesn't not look like it so far, because if you're looking at the way the offense, has been going over the first 4 games, like you just don't see where you can find itself, right? And I'm be honest with you, on Sunday after the game, I was a loss of words because I couldn't see how this offense can improve, right? But that's what these guys get paid for. This is Arthur Smith. This is his job. He's the offensive coordinator. He's the head coach. He's the play caller. He has to figure this thing out. He got to be able to get these playmakers the ball. Keep going, saying it over and over again about all the draft capital they invested in this offense. It have to be where these guys can start to get pay dividends, and it's going to have to be up to the quarterback and the play caller to make that happen, right? Also, you got to think about making sure the guys are executing the play like it was designed. I mean, running the right routes, right? Not having guys like in the same area on routes and stuff, because you just bringing more defenders in. Um, Offensive linemen actually living up to making sure that they're holding up blocks long enough for the quarterback can actually deliver the ball to the right people. Open up those running holes like he did last year for all our backs, right? So that's what we need to see. Balance, balance, balance. That's what we got. That's what we need to see this week from the Atlanta Falcons. To me, if they can do those 3 things in this game, we can start, for one thing, to get the offense back on track where it needs to be. But we definitely can have a good, solid win this week, at home once again. And one positive note we can say about this week, the Atlanta Falcons is 4-0 in their last 4 games at home. Hopefully that trend continue. Got to start playing better on the road, but we got to be able to protect home field, and hopefully that home field cooking can get our offense back on track and give our young quarterback the more confidence that he needs to turn this thing around. So those are my offensive keys this week. Definitely want to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about those 3 offensive keys. Give them to you again real quick. Fast start, protect the ball, and let's establish a balanced all-around offense, right? That's what we need to do. Okay, let's get into our defensive keys real quick for this week. And we talk about our defensive keys this week. I think the biggest thing we need to do, we need to just continue to stop the run, right? We really have played well against the running game this year so far. That's one of the things that Atlanta Falcons want to do, and especially being able to do it with their front 4, and with their linebackers as well. I think Nate Landman has really came in and filled that role. He's a freaking thumper, man, and it's gonna be interesting to see when Troy Anderson come back, how they can take Nate Landman off the field, because I think he's somebody that I really like. He's downhill. He's a hard hitter. He plays his run gaps like he's supposed to. This is the reason why they were so comfortable with letting a guy like Michael Walker go, because they had a guy like Nate Landman that, if you looked at what he did in college, he was a thumper. That's what he did. He had an injury, but you can see what we saw in college is starting to translate what he's doing right now in the NFL. So hats off to Nate Landman. But that run game, being able to stop that run game with our front 4 and utilize our linebackers, it's really, really been good for us this year. So we need to continue to do that. We don't want Dameon Pierce to go off and have big games. We want, even though CJ Stroud has been playing really well, for these Houston Texans, we want to be able to put the pressure on the young quarterback. Don't care how well they playing, they're still a rookie. And, if you're a good defense of any type, you never want to let a young rookie cornerback come in and dominate you when you got veterans like we do on our defensive side of the ball. My second key is it's really simple, guys. It's really no more explosive plays, no more coverage busts, right? The last two games, that's exactly what we've seen, and it actually jump started the other two teams, offense that getting them on the board first because they was able to make create explosive plays, and it's not has not been on technique or guys just getting beat. It's been on busted coverages, guys not completing their play. Like if Richard Grant get that sack on Trevor Lawrence, I think we get off the field with no points there. But our AJ Terrell looking in the backfield, communication, whatever the reason was, it was a busted coverage. The same thing in the Detroit game. So no more explosive plays. We don't want quarterback to get out on the backside and get scramble plays for first downs. We don't want to have no explosive runs, and definitely 100% no more explosive pass plays, especially on busted coverages. Just going to throw this out there. No pass interferences either, because that was, one of the issues we had in the Green Bay game. So just any explosive plays to get them, good field position, because something that we're not doing from an undisciplined standpoint. Vice, they just right out beating us for execution. That's not what's happening. It's been busted coverages. It's been not, containing on the outside, letting the quarterback get out. It's been, missed sacks, like I said, pass interference. Those are things that's causing us to get these explosive plays on defense, and we definitely need to be able to stop that. All right. My last and third key on defense for this week is just continue to play like you have been playing on third down. They've been getting out the field on third down. Not 100% what the percentage is. I have to go back and look that up, but just from what I've been seeing, for the most part, the Atlanta Falcons has really been good on third down this year on the defensive side of the ball. They've been able to get off the field, get the ball back to our offense, and then they have did it, for multiple drives in a row, right? Our offense going 3 and out, their defense come back out and give us the ball back. So we actually really been playing well on third down, and you gotta love it. It's not just on third and longs, either. It's been third and shorts where it's 3rd and 2, and we still stop them for getting those 2 yards. So I commend our defense. Don't get discouraged about the way the offense playing. Continue playing. A new defense, coming together with a new defensive coordinator already playing this well. Just gave up 16 points last week. Another 20 points the week prior. If we could stay in that range, 20, about 20 points a game, and once our offense hopefully gets to going, I think this is really going to be something special for us. What's going on, Chris? What's been what's going on, man? I've really been enjoying your videos that you've been doing. You've been kicking out there. But yeah, man, we just in here chopping it up, talking about these Atlanta Falcons, talking about these keys. And I think the Atlanta Falcons definitely gonna need to do this week to get back on track, because we got to see these guys get back on track, man. So that's what we really need to see. Like I said, one thing that they definitely need to do is continue to play well. They play well on third down. Stop giving up those boneheaded, busted coverage plays that we've been seeing, right? And 100%, right? Continue to stop the run. If they do those things on defense, man, they give our offense a chance to figure this thing out, right? Right. First of all, we want an offense. We don't have to worry about that if our offense start fast. My first key on offense, right? If the offense start fast, we don't even have to worry about, our defense can play like they want to play, and that's play with the lead and then pin their head backs and get those sack numbers up. That's really what we need. That's really what we need to see from this Atlanta Falcon team. So if they could do that, that's what we want to see. Q said, I agree with you on all points. I want to see a comfortable Ritter in the pocket, not running around. Well, what I really want to see from Ritter is what we've seen in the second half, right? I'll be honest with you. Coming out of halftime in that London game, taking the ball, driving it down the field, throwing it in for a touchdown. My first thought was, wow, right? That how you go from back to back interceptions, come out, drive down the field, throw a touchdown pass. Right, I like that. I like that especially in a young quarterback, right? Because like I said, they gonna make mistakes. All quarterback make mistakes. Nobody perfect. We get that, but being able to come out and do what he did in the second half give me a little hope that he can figure this thing out. Right? That's what we got to see. We got to be able to see, you know, get out your head that I got to feed my boys, got to feed my homies, and things like that. And I want to take what the defense gives me. Right? That's why he played so well. That's why John Smith got so many passes in the second half because he was just taking what the defense gave him. Right? Kyle Pitts ain't open, Drake ain't open, John is open because that's where the defense led me, giving me my shot to get the ball to one of my playmakers. That's what I'm gonna do. Nothing's open. My outlet is my running back. I'm gonna throw it out to my running back. These are the things that he knows he needs to do, right? But when you're trying to force balls to your guys, not saying that's exactly what he did. I definitely think that he did on that pick six because Drake London was never open on that play. He just forced it there. He predetermined where he was going that ball. Time it was hiked, and he just threw it there. So that's one of the things he definitely. Hopefully, he is one of those guys that learn from his mistakes. So, but if he can do that, that's really going to help us out a lot. Chris says, get back to our bread and butter. To be honest with you, right now, Chris, I don't know what our bread and butter is. I don't know, because we haven't seen it. Like I said, these 4 games on offense, we haven't been consistent. We haven't started off well at all. We have seen flashes. We have seen flashes of that running game like it was last year. We have seen that. We have seen. I mean, the Green Bay game, it was pretty good, right? We were at 400 some yards, 200 some yard rushing, 200 some yard passing. Perfect game from a stat standpoint, but we still started off slow in that game. We really did, right? And then we started to figure it out in that second half. Um, we look like we're going to be a fourth quarter team, here this season. But the last 2 games that has not been the case on offense. But we can't afford for these Atlanta Falcons to come out slow like that and think they're going to be able to make it up. Right? That's not a formula for success and sustain throughout the season. Right? You play lesser opponents, yes, it might work in your favor that you can come back, you get the home field advantage, you got the crowd going, the defense getting guys out the field, things like that. But your game got to travel on the road too, where the fans not going to be there. So you got to establish some kind of rhythm and some kind of style to play that you want to that can travel with you anywhere. You want that to be the running game, but right now, when they know we can't pass the ball, they stack in the box. They trying to take away our running game, right? The last 2 weeks on first down, we've been averaging about 2.5 yards our average on first downs because they know we can't pass. So you got to figure that out. We got to be able to get back and my third key on offense, right? You got to be balanced. That's where it starts, in my opinion. You want to get the run game going. The run game helps establish the pass game, but you can't be too stubborn to know that, you got to open these guys up. You got to let them think that we're not all about the run, even though that's all we want to do. But we got to let them know that we're willing to take shots down the field. We hit big shots as well, so you can soften up for your guys like Bijan, Tyler, and CP can get going in the running game. That's not what we're seeing, and a lot of our guys not getting enough touches. All these weapons we got, but the fact of the matter is, all these 3 and outs, turning over the ball, our guys are not getting the touches they need to get going. Right? Our run game can't get enough going because we're not keeping the ball long enough to establish a rhythm. So that's what we got to do. And if we could do that, I think we're really going to be where we need to be. He didn't have time. It looked like in the Eddie second read. That pick six he did. If you go back and look at that play, Bijan was wide open in the middle of the field. So that was a bad pass. Those two interceptions both were bad passes. It had nothing to do with the offensive line. It had nothing to do with the play call. It was all on Desmond Ritter. Those two interceptions was all on him, 100%. It wasn't even a good play by the defense. He threw it right to them. So that cannot happen. That's 100%. You a defensive player make a good play on the break on the ball and interception. You tip your hand to you, be like, good job. It was a good play. But when you throw it right to the defender, right, on both of those interceptions that he had, and if you recall, he almost had a third one because he underthrew Mac Hollins, which caused Mac Hollins to react the way he acted in the game as well. But yeah, those two picks by Desmond Ritter was 100% on him. Had nothing to do with anybody else, because those balls shouldn't have went there. None of those, that throw shouldn't have went to those to that area because those guys was not open. So, let's see what we got here. In our 2 wins, 100 plus 24 yard rushing, 2 losses, 218 total. Yeah, because guess what? They started to know we can't pass. Like I really like when people say, just run the ball, just run the ball, just run. If they know you can't pass, they just gonna stop the run. Your run can't get going. that's the key, man. I'm telling you guys, like they play what they got a defense too. They know we can't pass. I love the fact that people keep saying this, just run the ball. We got to pass the ball too. We have to. They're gonna stack the box. I'm telling you guys. Don't get it twisted that you think we just gonna get up and run the ball every play because they can't stop our running game. If they put 10 men in the box like they did one play with the Lions when they had 10 players within 5 yards and they had a safety deep, could they don't respect our passing game? I'm telling you guys, this is you're gonna get predictable. You're gonna get the Lions was shooting the gaps on run plays. The Detroit Lions was shooting the gap on run plays because they don't think we can pass. You have to be balanced. You have to. Believe it or not, Marcus Mariota had a better effect on our passing game last year than than right now. It is a fact. He couldn't complete passes. He couldn't get, but they respected the passing game more last year than they do right now. I'm telling you guys. Looking at the game, they stacking the box, they making us pass. They saying Desmond Ritter cannot beat us. And until we figure that out, we're going to have these issues. I'm telling you guys. It's just 100% the way I see it. I could be wrong, but the last 2 games for me, I know looking at the rushing numbers and things like that, it's not because they're not trying to rush. They're not getting any yards when they rush the ball. Look at it. They attacking the run. They like run blitzing because they don't think we can pass the ball. You got to make them think a little bit. We had a play action play where Desmond Ritter faked the ball to nobody. The running back was going the opposite direction. You are not even fooling anybody on the play action because you're fake. You ain't even trying to, like you looking at the running back. You faked it the opposite the way the running back was going. I don't know if that was the running back fault or the quarterback fault, but the running back was going the opposite way. Desmond Ritter was faking it to air. They knew it was a pass. So like I'm just being honest. Like this is something that in today's game, if you can't pass the ball, you're not going that far. So we got a dynamic running attack. We do. But if we can't pass the ball, our offense is never going to get it right. I'm telling you that right now. It's never going to get it right. If we can't pass the ball, look at the teams that's struggling right now. Their quarterback play is not good. Chicago, the Jets, the Jets got a great running game. Their quarterback, they don't think the quarterback can beat them, right? Look at Justin Fields. They don't think the quarterback can beat them, right? Kenny Pickett, they don't think the quarterback can beat them. Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley's not there to help him out. They don't think the quarterback can beat him. We have to establish the passing game. We got to be more balanced. It's just that simple, in my opinion. I love our running game. I think it's one of the best running games in the league. But if if they don't fear our passing game a little bit, it's never going to get what we want to get, guys. That's just the fact. And we're going to be having these discussions all year long about our offense. We're going to have these discussions all year long about our offense because at this point, they don't believe we can pass. We got Kyle Pitts, we got Drake London, we got Jonnu Smith, we got Matt Holland. We were so excited about all these weapons in the passing game, and now everybody just wanted to see us run because y'all know we can't pass. Like, we got to make it balanced. I'm just telling you guys. That's where it's at. If we can't be balanced, and Arthur Smith knows this, he knows it. You get him too predictable. If you just a running game, you go back and look when he had Derrick Henry, one of the most explosive running games they had. They had, in 2019, they had the most explosive plays in the league that year in the passing game because the running game, they had to respect the pass because their running game was so great, but they had explosive plays in the passing game. It was balanced. That's why he was 1-2. He was 1 in 2019, 2 in 2020 on offense, and with Derrick Henry because the running game was good, but the passing game complemented it. That's why it complemented the running game. And if we just a running team, and we could have kept Marcus Mariota. If we don't think Desmond Ridder able to pass the ball, we could have just kept Marcus Mariota and say, just do what you did last year because, believe it or not, the offense looked better last year with Marcus Mariota than it does right now. We put up 13 points in 2 games. The offense looked better last year with Marcus Mariota than it does right now because we cannot pass the ball. And that's just, I get on my soapbox again. I know everybody want to talk about the running game, but we got to be able to pass the ball. It's just, if we can't do that, man, like, why even have a quarterback? Why even have a quarterback? Just put a running back and hand the ball off. Because if you're not going to pass the ball, like I thought you guys felt like Desmond Ridder was a better passer than Marcus Mariota. That's why we were so excited. Like, I think he's going to be able to get the ball into these playmakers' hand. We ain't seen that yet. We seen flashes of it. And when we seen the flashes of it, that's when our offense looked a whole lot better. That Green Bay game, we passed the ball for 230-some yards. When we had explosive plays, we had passes to key passes down the field. That's what we seen, right? We haven't seen that these last 2 games. And until we get more balance, 200 passing, 200 rushing, then I think we can be a good team. But if we just talk about the running game, it ain't going to work. That's my soapbox once again. That's just the way I feel about it. Yes, they send it 5. They don't believe it. Like they blitz in the run. They know how dynamic Bijan is. They know how dynamic he is. They know how hard it is to get Tyler Algier once he start going downhill. They don't want to see that. So they stack in the box, man. Go look at the defense. I'm just go watch the Lions game and watch how they played us. Go watch the Detroit Lions game. Watch how they played us. Chris said he understand, but you can't go away from it. They're not going away from it. They're not going away from the running game. Go back and look at the distribution between pass and run. It was almost even. They had this many passes, this many rushes. Now, the Detroit game was totally different because they were playing from behind and things like that. But they're rushing. He calling it just as many running plays, or is he calling pass plays? He really is. He's not calling more pass plays than he call running plays. It's not. That's not the case. That's not what's happening. Except when in Detroit game, yes, it was 38-20, right? With 30 passes and 20 rushes. But in that last game, it was not like that. Go back and look at the way they pass and run. It was not like that. And when you get down, you kind of get away from the running game now because you're trying to play catch up. Right? That's why my first key was you got to get off the fast starts on offense because then we could stick to the running game the whole game and create that balance that we need. So James said it's execution and coaching. I agree. I agree. These new quarterbacks are not taught the pro passing game. There's 100% none of them. Yeah, I agree with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. The one that I seen right now that I'm impressed with more than anything that's in college is Dion's son, Shador. Um, he looks like he might be able to translate his passing game to the pros, right? He looks off safeties. He know where he want to go with the ball. He understand the offense. He's not just going out there playing sandlot, making it happen. I like the way Caleb, the quarterback from USC looks. I really do like way Williams look, right? But he tried to play a little sandlot a little bit. I don't know because some of that stuff is not gonna work in the pros. The guys are just too good. You're not gonna have all that time to scramble around and make plays, right? He's not Pat Mahomes, not yet. So, but I love the way James talk about being taught the pro game. That's 100% true. You got to be able to read defenses, man, and dissect what's going on and make, like I said, takes what the defense give you. That's what you got to do. Game said college coaches just want to win. Yes, they don't care about getting these guys ready for the pros, right? You're 100% right, man. They could care less, right? They just want to get out and win. If they, I mean, I'm a Dogs fan, of course, and if you watch the game against Auburn, right, all Auburn did with their quarterback was just run the ball, right? What did that quarterback show, you know, to pro scouts that he's able to do that's going to translate to the pros, right? What did he show? All them quarterbacks showed that they can run the ball. So both of those quarterbacks, if they went to Auburn and wanted to, find their way into the NFL, they just showed they can run the ball. They're running backs, right? They can show no passing, nothing like that. So I agree with you 100%. All coach you want to do in college is just win, and that's what they're trying to do. So God, I love these talks, man. I love these talks because we all, um, so passionate what we believe. The crazy thing about it, right? We're not in the film room. We don't know what Arthur Smith called, like what the play was, what they were supposed to do on the play, who actually messed up. Was it the lineman that messed up? Did the wide receiver run the wrong route? Um, the running back, on the blitz where he's supposed to go out on the hot read for Desmond Ritter can hit him. It's so many things that we don't know because we don't know what play was called and how it was really designed to run, right? Right. So we just speculating, right? Everybody's talking about Arthur Smith play calling, but I think it's more to execution um than just the play calling. I think it's executing because every play on defense and offense is designed for you to win when they call it, right? If you play your keys, right? If you make this block on this guy and do this and do that, right? It's really designed for that play to work each time. That's really how plays are drawn up, right? Of course, what happens is a play on the other side, make a spectacular play, do something that you didn't think he was going to do, or the guy that was supposed to do the play didn't execute like they were supposed to, right? And then it goes back and say the coach didn't call the right play. Well, he called the right play if everybody did what they were supposed to do, or the other guy didn't blow the play up because he did something that you didn't expect him to do. So I hope you guys understood what I was saying with that. But that's a lot of times plays, every play that's called supposed to work. It's just because if they're going to, if they it's the right decent defense And if the quarterback gets up there and going against this coverage, the play call, and he say, well, no, we can't run that play because this coverage is not going to let us do it. I'm an audible audit. Usually they get like 2 plays, right? They go in the huddle. All right, we're going to play check. We're going to check because the play you call against this coverage ain't going to work. So we're going to check out and we're going to go to something else. Well, you're going to something else. That means the other play should give you some positive yards, right? That's the way you're thinking in your head, right? But at the same time, if they didn't execute it the correct way, if somebody from the other side blow up the play, that's what happens on these sometimes on these plays execution, right? Any busted coverage, you see a guy that's wide open, right? Trust me, if they wide open, it was a busted coverage because guys are not wide open in pros, right? These guys are too good. The coaching staff is too good out there. So if a guy's wide open in the pros, it's probably a busted coverage, miscommunication, or they caught him in the wrong play, the wrong coverage, and they was like, "Uh-oh, that was the perfect call for this coverage, and we beat them." Right? That's usually what happens in football. Chris said, question for you. Why do you think we look worse with better talent than we did with less talent? That's the problem. Oh, this is the perfect question. I have no idea, man. Like, this is that, and like I'm saying, man, like, we look better with Marcus Mariota than we do with Desmond Ritter. Like, and Marcus Mariota could not throw at all, right? So I don't know, man. That's a great question. I have no idea. Um, that's why I was a loss for words on Sunday, man. After that game, I don't know how to fix it. I hope Arthur Smith do. That's what he get paid. Get paid, man. I'm just putting my keys out there. What I want to see them do, but I have no idea why they look worse with more talent than they had last year. I have no idea. It's crazy. It's that's a mystery. Hopefully, it's the first half of the season they figure it out. But you might have to answer to my question. Let's see here. Oh, if teams are making us to beat them with the pass, how do we execute on these stack boxes and stunts? So I think Chris said earlier, we have to, it's plays for stunts and stuff like that, and guys coming up fields. That's when you throw in the screen plays and things like that. The the quick draw play is real good because when they coming up the field on the outside, you throw a draw in there. A lot of times that helps out. I believe if they get Desmond Ritter on the move a little bit more, so when he getting outside the pocket, I think that'll help as well. Just move the pocket for Desmond Ritter. I really think that'll help. But you have to go heavy. So get him in maybe we go a little bit more 13 and 12, right? 2 tight ends, and make them come with the heavy box formation, and then we spread them out, right? I think that might help as well. But you got to take shot plays. I think the biggest thing that Atlanta Falcons have not did well this season is explosive plays. That gets them get them out their stack boxes as well, right? So we got to be able to take advantage of that. If they stack in the box, that means it's one-on-one on the outside. So that means we got to have those. We got to beat them with explosive plays. That's one of the things we got to do. So if we can do that, it'll take them out of that. We have the players to do that. Look at what Matt Holland was able to get behind the defender in the game in London, right? And the ball was just underthrown. Right? That was an explosive play. You see, you get a little bit more of those plays like that, and we start to connect on those plays. That'll soften up that stack box. So that's why you got to take shot plays, right? You have to. It just the shot plays, screen plays, draws, and things like that. Getting desperate out the pocket on the move, utilize the athletic ability. I think all those kind of plays will get them out those stack boxes. But if we just stay predictable and do this vanilla, what we've been doing, with this, it's not gonna get any better. So that's what I think. Like and hopefully we see some of these things this week. I think Arthur Smith maybe sometimes is just too smart for this because you can tell he's really smart. He knows his football. He knows what he's talking about. That's why you hear him talking to the media. He kind of try to break it down for everybody, let him know what he's saying. But sometimes he might just be too smart for his own good. Maybe he just need to simplify it for Desmond and all those motions and things like that. Those motions that Arthur Smith call is supposed to let the quarterback help the quarterback know, you know, where the strength at, what are their zone or their man, what kind of coverage they're in. That's why all those motions and things, and it's supposed to, cause confusion for the defense, but it seems like it's causing more confusion for Dez, in offense more than it is for the defense side of the ball. So that really something that they did really need to work on. Mariota's a veteran; he can navigate better. And Ritter teams know Ritter is green. Yes, this is this is true. The younger quarterbacks is going to struggle, right? One thing we can say about Desmond, right? A lot of young quarterbacks when they start to get pressure like that, you know, they don't recover, right? Desmond starts to play better as the game go. If you have noticed, he really starts to play better as the game go. That's what he's been doing. Is since he's been here with the Falcons, those later quarters, he has started to play better football. So it seems like he settled down. He settles down more. What we got to figure out for Arthur Smith is to have him to start to come in the game, settled, more settled down, so he can get in the rhythm. But third and fourth quarter, Desmond Ridder has. If you go look at his third and fourth quarter numbers, in every game he has played, it has been a whole lot better than it is in the first and second quarter. So don't know why that is, but that's a good trait to have. And my buddy, one of my buddies that I work with, basically said, could it be a clutch gene, right? I mean, when the the money's on the line, does he start to just to settle down and start to be like, I gotta make this play, right? We just need to see that in the entire game because he does play better in the third and fourth quarter, and he has flashes. He has shown flashes. We just got to see it, right? And that's what we need to see from Dez. Can go under center and pistol also. Yeah, we can do pistol. We could do we can do some more RPOs. I know a lot of people been throwing out RPOs as well. Um, that might be help Desmond. That's a lot what a lot of college quarterbacks do. That helps them a lot because it gives them the run pass option there, and they hand the ball off to the quarterback. I mean to the running back, or they throw the ball there. Right, it's easy reads for quarterbacks on run pass options. So they definitely can do that. If the linebacker bites up on that run fake, you just throw it over his head or on behind him right there for completion. Right, we saw Nick Foles do that against our Atlanta Falcons in that 2017 division round playoffs. That's what he did. He just ran RPOs to death in that game. If you go back and look at it, and he was just taking what defense gave him. That's pretty much what he did. But so it does work in the NFL. I don't think it'll work, for long term, but for a guy like Desmond Ridder to get him more comfortable, to start the game, that may be something they could definitely go with in that instance. So that's definitely something to consider as well. All right, guys, I'm getting to the special teams keys right quick, which is really not a whole lot, of course. But of course, field position. I always do field position. I think that's one of the biggest keys. I think in that London game, we got bad field position on a lot of our possessions. And Arthur Smith mentioned this today. When get it changes your play call when you backed up like that, right? Because you want to try to get first down first. So just for an example, if you had a shot play that you wanted to call, one of your first plays, well, if you backed up, within your own 10-yard line, you don't want to take that shot place because you want to get a first down first, right? So it's going to change the way you're calling the game and things like that. So the field position is really important on both sides of the ball. But that's always my first key. We want to be able to establish great field position. Um, and then the next is I definitely want to see us better in the kicking game. Of course, we didn't get to see CP run nothing back because they kept kicking out the end zone on kickoff, um, punt return. We got to be able to get more yards. You can kind of see the absence of a guy like Avery Williams, who led the league last year in return yards, turning punt. So that's kind of been missed for us for special teams this year. But we can definitely get better. It's just the first 4 games of the season, so for me, the kicking game is going to be important, and of course, field position for special teams. Um, so guys, that's all I have for my keys today. I'm going to leave on this note right here, and about our young quarterback Desmond Ritter is that the heat that he's receiving now is not going to let up. It's going to only intensify. And that's the life of being a young quarterback in this league, especially when you was deemed the quarterback one for the Atlanta Falcons when everybody thought the Atlanta Falcons should have went in a different direction. Now he does not have the mystique of being a first round draft pick and being a bust and things like that. But that's why I think it's a little bit more, taxing for him because he's a third round pick where most people didn't believe he had what it takes in the first place. And now, he's proving people right, which I hate. Guys like Chris Sims that came out and made him the number 34 quarterback in the league, right? So many people thinking that he can't handle it and things like that. It's not gonna let up, right? That's why it's important. To go back to what I said to start this podcast is Desmond Ritter needs to protect the ball. He needs to play better. Don't be the reason why the Atlanta Falcons lose. That's just got to be his thought process going in. Like I said, if he can get that thing where he settled down, you know, towards the end of the game, the third and fourth quarter, to start the game and kind of maintain that, I think he definitely play a whole lot better. We have seen Desmond Ritter make great plays throughout his first 8 starts, but the heat is not going to let up on him. It's going to intensify. That's just the way it is in this league. Um, the Atlanta Falcons is built to win now. They really are. It's not built to let Desmond Ritter go out and make mistakes and lose games for this because he's going to lose the locker room. Like I said, half of the fan base won behind him right now. And then, if he continue to go down one game the way he played, if he continue to do things like that, it'll really get really hard for him. Um, you know, Definitely don't want to hear your home fan booing because you're making boneheaded plays out there. That's not good, right? Because we already seen it and they already calling for it. So it's not going to get better for you. You need to come out. You need to play well, and don't be the reason why the Atlanta Falcons are losing games. So, guys, that's all I have. Like I said, I really enjoyed the dialect going back and forth. Appreciate guys, 3 Dirty, Chris for coming in, James, all you guys. 3 Dirty, man, I appreciate it, man. You come every week, you come every show, listen to me. I really appreciate you coming in. Thanks for coming in every week. Listen to what I got to say. But to next time, guys, let me know what you think about my keys, right? Let me know what you think that if I did mention it, what Atlanta Falcons should do to get back on track, to get back over 500. We're right there for this division. I think that's going to be our key to to getting back into the playoffs. We need to win our division, but we need to make sure we protect home these next 2 games. That's all I have. This is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.